All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. So, I could be really angry, but I'm just going to state the facts and then I'll let you all decide and figure out for yourself what happened to that first Eric Clapton video, which at one point had 95,000 views. And it was showing up on my end as 95,000 views. And people were telling me, no, when I go to the video, it says it has 67,000 views. So I'm thinking, okay, the numbers maybe need to catch up. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm trying to give this the benefit of the doubt. But lo and behold, I wake up and on my end, the video now has 67,000 views. This video went viral. I had news agencies that were interested in taking the content, and I denied them from doing that. I have my reasons for it. I had clips of the video play on a couple of different news outlets, one of which I was watching in real time when it happened, and it was really scary, really kind of creepy that I'm watching myself on the big screen. Uh, Look, folks, we know what's going on. The content in that video struck a nerve and it made people go out of their minds. And I'm sure someone reached out to the powers that be who control everything and say, this video can't be super viral. This person, meaning me, cannot become important. He cannot become a voice where people will listen to him and turn to him because, of course, he's spreading the wrong information. Now, if you watch that video, we didn't talk about, the little emperor and his protocols. We didn't talk about a lot of things that are more technical. What we talked about is the way people in a massive way decided to react the exact same way to a problem based on the level of propaganda that is put out every day. And now it's an all-out war. We're hearing the Canadian truckers are a bunch of xenophobes or whatever they're being called because they want bodily autonomy. And everything gets flipped upside down. And the people who get hurt the most are the working class, are just the regular Joe and Jane, the deplorable gang. All of them get hurt the most. And in this Clapton video, I'm thinking to myself, this is pretty interesting. He's telling it like it is. You don't have to agree with it. All right. And of course, yesterday we had Joe Rogan acquiescing to Spotify, the guy who's got more clout in media than anybody, who could take his ball and go home and create his own Joe Rogan platform. And maybe he won't make quite as much money, especially, initially, but everybody would go find it. Everybody, right? It would make it even more of a thing. And then Spotify would rid themselves of Rogan and all of this amazing music that, is being pulled off wouldn't have to be pulled off. And I say amazing a little sarcastically here. I mean, we're talking Neil Young and Joni Mitchell. There's some good music there for sure, but it's not the end of the world. Let me get back to the throttling. This is called throttling. I've never seen it. I've heard about it because I've never been in a position where it could maybe happen to me. The other channel I run, which you can find, there's a link to that channel off of this channel. The number of subscribers has been stalled out right under 7,000 for like a year and a half. In fact, it was higher, it came down a little bit, and now it's just stalled there. And I've told a whole bunch of people where that channel is and how to find it. Again, there's a link on the banner of this particular channel where you can click on that, go to that channel and subscribe to that. We're in a war, folks. We are truly in a war of information, to quote somebody who's been banned, and his platform completely banned. And, you know, he was the first one, and there obviously there were more to follow. You can't say certain things. This is not appropriate. This is not the way we're going to get through this as humanity. We need all the information that we can possibly find. And when you start throttling back view counts, it's a subtle way to say, oh, well, this guy's video kind of stalled out. You know, it's kind of like him. He kind of stalled out. Nobody really cares about him. And by the way, this isn't necessarily about me. It's about anybody who puts up content, right? And in this case, I had a scoop, right? I had a scoop, and I didn't know I had this big of a scoop, but it was a big deal. I knew this interview was going to cause some issues for some people, but Clapton is a gentleman, and he decided he wanted to go on with me, and we had a conversation, and that's all of it. You know, that's pretty much it. Now, you don't have to agree with his theories, but there are a lot of people who do, and that's the problem. They don't want people agreeing with Eric Clapton or any of these doctors that have gone on record. And Rogan, too, has this amazing platform. Has what Rogan should be doing is providing equal time for the other side, because he doesn't have to worry about the censorship end of things. But now, you know, there's going to be the warning, you know, go to this podcast at your own risk. And you know, these aren't the views of Spotify. I don't know. I think it would just be awesome if we had a platform that said free speech, you know, can't yell fire in a crowded theater. I mean, there are certain things that you can't say or do. But for the most part, so long as you're not throwing out, you know, pure racism, pure anti-Semitism. And by the way, people would not patronize those things if they were allowed to go forward. They wouldn't patronize it. It wouldn't be like the #1 video. You'd probably see, if they had comments, like a whole group of comments saying, this person is ridiculous. And, you know, I'm sure the comments wouldn't be positive, but just check the video. I mean, I don't have the screenshot. I wish, if somebody has a screenshot out there they want to send me. I didn't screenshot it, but I've had patrons who started a few days ago saying, hey, something weird is going on with your video. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at it on my end, and my analytics were good. And then I looked this morning, and my analytics weren't so good. So anybody over at YouTube, can you free up those views? I mean, this is probably a once in a lifetime interview, and I do have the video, and I can upload it to other places. And I'm thinking about doing that today, because people need a record of what he said and how he said it, and it needs to be available for people to see. Right now, that video is also over on Odyssey, because all of the content I post here goes over to Odyssey automatically. It's a cool little feature, and it's a platform that is totally devoted to free speech, freedom of expression. I'm pretty sure they're not going to, you know, throttle down the count over there. The problem with all of this is that everybody got used to things like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And it's easy for them to use those platforms. It's easy for people to access those things. Now you're introducing things like Getter and Odyssey and Rumble, and people are like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, YouTube, fairly accessible from your smart TV, right? Not sure if Rumble is as easy to use. Pretty sure Odyssey, although they do have an unofficial Odyssey channel on Roku. Now, here's the deal about Odyssey. I'm not going to make money by posting videos to Odyssey. Otherwise, I would just, I mean, this is what I do. I have worked for 5 years to get to this point. So it would be kind of stupid for me just to pull all my stuff off of here. You always hear creators saying, well, we need a backup plan, but then they keep posting because there really is no good backup plan to YouTube and their revenue stream. And I applaud them for making entrepreneurs out of people and allowing people to post content, but they shouldn't mess with the analytics. They should let the video go where it was going and not try to suppress it and throttle it back down. So in any event, just a little update here. So what you can do, again, is share the video, watch the video. I think really the video has run its course as far as, you know, the viral time that it had, but those numbers should still be creeping up, I think, at a fairly good clip compared to the other things I've posted. By the way, it's not my #1 video. I did a video about the Eagles a number of years ago, and that thing was like 200,000 or something views. Of course, it took all those years to accumulate, but the content is fairly innocuous. So I don't think they're going to mess with that. And because it took so long to get to that point, it's not really a threat to anybody, apparently. So there's no reason to mess around with those numbers unless, you know, I need to start looking through all my old videos to see what those videos are doing. It'd be really sad. You work this hard, you get to this point, and then you get pushback. It's just crazy. Anyway, little side note, the second Eric Clapton video, nobody really talked about that video. And I keep complaining about that because there was a lot of good conversation in there about music. And, you know, I think it had 22,000 views, which is good, really good for me. But that was 38 minutes with Eric Clapton, and he and I were having a good conversation. Just a good guy. People ask me, what's Eric Clapton like? I'm like, he's just a really nice guy. That's really sad how he has been treated, being that he is a really nice guy. It's just disappointing how he's being portrayed now. So anyway, that's my pity party video on the throttling of the view count. Go check out the view count. You may have seen it a day or two ago and said, holy crap, Batman, Dave's got a lot of views. And now you're like, huh, Dave lost like 30,000 views. That's kind of weird. Yeah, it sure is.